James DeGale, fantastic signing for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, funnily enough, met James DeGale prior to him turning professional. Met James DeGale when he left Frank Warren, and now, met James DeGale again and finally got it done. So probably third time of asking. Delighted to add him to the stable.
What do you think you can do for him that others maybe haven't been able to in the past? He said he didn't feel his career was necessarily going anywhere, but already you've got him a fight at Wembley on the Froch-Groves undercard.
Yeah, James DeGale is one of those buzz fighters. He's quite flash. He's one of those people. His mojo's got to be firing for him to be firing, and I don't think that's been the case. He's been boxing on, shows with a couple of hundred people in the crowds, and he's not that kind of fighter. You've seen his performances have been that way. So I think when he walks out in front of 80,000 at Wembley, it's going to be a different kettle of fish. And when you look at the 168-pound division, he's in the position to fight Brandon Gonzalez to be the mandatory challenger for the winner of Carl Froch against Froch-Groves. So domestically, it's another huge fight down the line, and he's got his eye on those kind of fights, and that's where he wants to be.
He said that it's been depressing the last few months. It seems that this is almost rescuing his career, isn't it? Going from, as you say, 200 seat fights to 80,000 at Wembley is a huge step.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, after I met him earlier this week, he left the office and he said that he was just buzzing and he felt excited again. Like I said, he's a buzz fighter. He's got to have that mojo. And like any young fighter, they want to be boxing on the biggest stages, with the biggest promotional teams and the biggest broadcasters. And, he's got that now set up with us and Sky. And, of course, that first fight at Wembley Stadium. So he's in a great position. He's got to win that fight. If he loses that fight, all these talks of Froch-Groves mean nothing at all. It's a very, very difficult fight. But I think he'll be up for it, and it's very exciting times.
So you can't look too far, but everyone does look forward to the potential fight if he does win this first bout. Froch-Groves in particular, he's got such history with him. That would be another huge British fight. Yeah,
as is Froch against DeGale. It's the older generation against the young gun, a chance for an Olympic medalist to become world champion. Sometimes we forget that, about James DeGale. It was a couple of Olympics ago now. But, Froch-Groves has got huge history with James DeGale as well, and that's a massive fight. But either way that fight goes, another massive British domestic fight for the fans to look forward to.
Forward to the first one. It could be the biggest night in British boxing history almost. Wembley, you don't sell that out very often, and certainly not for a huge bill like this.
Yeah, I mean it's so special. We're lucky to be involved with it. We're lucky to be in an era where fights like this take part. I mean, 7 weeks this Saturday, and looking outside at the weather, you get a night like this with 80,000 for a boxing show. I mean, it just doesn't happen. So, but we've got to keep raising the bar. I'm not happy just to have this show and then we go back to 3,000 or 4,000 in these lovely arenas. You've got to raise the bar. You've got to go back to the big stadiums. You've got to keep making the big fights. And again, now James DeGale is in that mix. He's got a great opportunity to be part of those historic nights.
New Wembley has hosted England's nationals, FA Cup finals, 2 Champions League finals, but I guess you think this could top the lot.
This is the biggest yet for Wembley. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger, but they've been great, and they wanted this fight so bad. I think the week after the first fight, they'd already sent me an email saying if you think about the rematch, we'd love it here. There's a football game on the night before. They're moving heaven and earth to make it happen, and they were confident we'd do the 80,000. And as a promoter, you live in hope. We went on sale, and they went within an hour. 64,000 tickets. Hopefully news coming today or tomorrow of that additional capacity as well. But either way, there'll be 80,000 there on the night, and just can't wait to look around that stadium and see. It's such a huge night for British boxing. Forget about Froch-Groves for a minute. How often this happen in our sport? And nights like this are just going to take the sport through the roof. And ultimately, it's people like my responsibility to make that happen and grow the sport. And there's no better way to do it than 80,000 for a fight like Froch-Groves.
So, looking forward a bit, particularly if Froch-Groves win, Groves DeGale, I think that could be a Wembley sellout again. Is that the next logical step for boxing if that is what happens, if they both win?
Well, I think the winner of the Froch-Groves fight will challenge DeGale in the winter. So, outdoor is always difficult, but, like I said, Froch DeGale is a massive fight. Groves DeGale, we know the history there. But either way, James can't take his eye off the ball. He's got to beat Brandon Gonzalez, and when he does, he'll fight the winner of Froch-Groves. So, he'll be an eager spectator after his fight on May the 31st, if he wins, to see who he's going to face.